priority. Of course, when we sit down to meditate, what's our priority? Where's our priorities at? I would think on a small scale and a large scale. It's not always necessary to consider these things, but on a small scale, we can look at what we're prioritizing moment to moment in meditation. But on a bigger scale that goes in meditation, but also outside of meditation, and maybe even beyond this lifetime, is important too. So in the big macro scheme of things, I find life and death of utmost importance, and so did the historical Buddha too. I'm trying to think of something that's of more relevance than that. And some people might go into metaphysics, but I think it's also important to consider this very life, what we're doing moment by moment. What is this? And that the fact that have we learned how to escape death yet? Have we got out of the inevitability of death, and that we're living moment to moment? And some might say birth and death. But it is more relatable for everybody, life and death. And this is one good thing Hollywood's done, is bring attention to that, probably not in the most helpful ways, but just the notion of how important this is. So with that, at least for me, then what am I going to do about it? What's the best way to go about this in the way that's most helpful? And that's where I find meditation a really helpful tool for getting deeper and wider access to how to better address this very fundamental thing. And this is where teachings and studies can help too. But for our own ability with this is why meditation is so entirely vital. So with that priority, keeping that in mind and prioritizing that pretty much above all else, unless there's something more important, I would love to hear that and what to do about it. So for me, that's the highest priority, and just remembering that and keeping sight of that in some sense, or reflecting on that from time to time, just kind of puts things in perspective of why we're even doing this in the first place, why this is really important. And then we can do priorities moment to moment and how that relates, or on a smaller scale, like the meditation. Okay, where are my weaknesses? Where are my strengths? How long it will help make all these different choices about meditation objects, teachers, friends, actually how we're doing the meditation moment to moment, and realizing urgencies, yes, and inspirations and motivations. So it's a big topic to kind of unpack and unfold from there. But that's what I have to say right now about priority.